I actually think that Paul got at some of it in his talk, but I guess I'll begin by saying I think it's probably not very revolutionary to just run around calling for revolution all the time. Leninism is about strategizing and analyzing the conditions and finding the best way forward in order to raise the level of struggle so that we can create the biggest, largest, strongest movement in order to overthrow the system. So it's about being practical in this very material, substantial sense. And in that sense, most of the struggles that go on, most if not all the struggles that go on around us are directed towards reform in some sense. And we have to participate in them if we want to get anything done. But also reforms are really important for being able to raise the level of struggle in terms of their effect. They enable people to have extra time, they teach people how to struggle, they give practical lessons about solidarity, and demonstrate the way that there's an opposition in society between exploiters and exploited. So I guess it's never a it's not a counterposition at all. It's actually a synthesis of the two, or transcendence of the two, sublation, whatever. The other thing I wanted to say was actually responding to D. Yeah, D's point. I think it's sometimes better to think about the relationship between class and other ideologies by not thinking about class first when you think about other ideologies. I think oppressive ideologies function within the reproduction of capitalism. They function, in some ways, to affect the working class. One effect of racism is that it divides people so that they are not able to organize together and push forward in opposition. But it also does things like sexism allows for prices to be cut for the reproduction of workers by pushing the labor onto women. So I think it's not and similarly the existence of bourgeois people of color also functions to reproduce capitalism because it's not tolerable at this point if we were to have a purely white bourgeoisie. We have to have it because we have this ideology that's necessary of it being possible to make it, the American dream or whatever. So I guess I don't think we need to say that class is fundamental. There's a lot of different kinds of relationships to the means of production, and oppressive ideologies function differently in very many textual ways. But that doesn't change the fact that the working class is the class with the potential to transform society, is the class that has an interest that it shares with all oppressed people in a society that serves to function for the needs of the many instead of the desires of the few.
Thank you.